I just made a video that I decided when I got done was too emotionally charged and was too full of a rant. It was, I've seen headlines with Tucker Carlson or lots of other people's shows here and there where people doing the go talk to the people at the gas pump. What do you think about the prices of gas and things like that and what Donald Trump has done and getting different feedback? And, of course, it's all over the map. I have heard a lot of people say that they initially supported Donald Trump, but things have gone to the point where they now realize, oh, gosh, there's something wrong here. I made a mistake. I should not have voted for Donald Trump. My name is Dan Paulson. Welcome to the video. This is a remake because I had to settle down. I'm so angry at certain people for, it's like I feel like America is it's collapsed or it's in collapse mode. There's something going on with its values, with something that is not like it ever was before. It's going to turn into something more like a Russia or a North Korea. Someplace under a Donald Trump. He's not going to, he wouldn't treat it like a China, something like that. It would be more, anyway. He's not interested in a democracy. And the things he's doing at some point, you know what? I don't even want to talk about that. What I want to talk about is the people who say, boy, I changed my mind. What I want to say is this: you're already halfway like Donald Trump. You're not good enough either. If you voted for him to begin with, if you didn't recognize to begin with what was going on there with his mimicking and mocking somebody who had developmental disability and things, that there's just certain character things that you look at and go, this speaks volumes about what is inside of this person. What is this? These are the thistles from the garden, the fruits from the garden. Call it what you want. Donald Trump always said things, and there's a lot of record out there about stuff that's bad. Now, he's not the only one. Yeah. Can't even hold the Epstein files against him, can we? Although that's the day when those were released, that's the day that he bombed. Yeah, that's when that started. In the same way when Monica Lewinsky was going to go up before the grand jury, that same day Bill Clinton ordered the bombing and the destruction of a pharmaceutical factory in the Sudan. Let's divert attention away from this. I'm heading off again here. What I want to say really directly to the people that honestly that voted for Donald Trump to begin with, I'm very discouraged in you, because if you can see now what a bad person he is, I wonder why you couldn't see that to begin with. Why you let so many things slide about his character. Or here's the deal. Your character is like his character in those areas, and they were not offensive to you. Where to others of us, they are offensive because they're not the kind of things that I would do. They're rude. They're inconsiderate. They're not open-minded. They're very judgmental. They're very prejudiced. They're very controlling. They're very narcissistic. Donald Trump is a trip, and I don't see why he's still there. I don't see why he hasn't been impeached. That right there speaks volumes to me. That tells me right there what's happened to America, that Donald Trump is sitting there and that he's still sitting there. That tells me what's happened. That tells me that my years of service were for nothing. I truly believe that. 10 years active duty, U.S. Army. Gone. Well, I got an education, so I got something out of it, but we don't have America anymore. What we served for, as far as the freedom of everybody, it's not remaining there. Things are changing. Again, here I am going off and not talking about the topic, and that is, for those of you that voted for him to begin with and have changed your mind, I'm so angry at you for not seeing in the beginning what so many of us could see. The liberal swing has gone too far. Horrible alternate choice. But the alternate liberal choice was never going to do to America and to humanity what the conservative Donald Trump control freak, I don't even know how to run things. I got to have my fingers in everything. It's got to be my way. I've got to be knob dick in every freaking thing going on until it fails. Things are working fine. Leave it the hell alone. No. Well, there are some things that need to be changed. We're swinging too far. We're swinging too far right. But yeah, you look at it now and you realize that's not going to change. But anyway, people who voted for Donald Trump and then have regrets later, all I can say is this. I hope you can manage your guilt. I would feel horrible if I had voted for Donald Trump. I would feel terrible. Although there's people out there now that are still proud of it. The farther you get on the awareness and intelligence and capacity to think cognitively scale, the more you're prone to just walk around with somebody's ring in your nose, with a chain pulling you around, singing the virtues of that person without realizing, well, you know what, we all have a voice. Anyway, okay, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing here. Sometimes I don't have anybody to talk to. Maybe I need to get things off my chest. And I've talked with a couple of people lately who were super, super Trump. We fought over it, who have come back kind of meekly later, trying to distance themselves from their attachment to it. And I'm like, because they're like, oh my God, I didn't see this coming. And it's like, I remember what you did back then. You didn't listen. That means they accepted a whole lot of things that I would not accept. They knew, they saw what they heard and saw the same things that all of us did. We all make judgment calls, don't we? Donald Trump said and did things and acted in ways that were just not like dignified American, politicians of past. Things are changing. It kind of turns more into like a labor racketeering organization or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. All right, well, that's it for this video. The first one, whew, yeah, I can't post that one. But I am definitely discouraged. Every country in history that ever somehow became leader, rose to the whatever, you can say that or not, didn't stay there. The Roman Empire, the Ottoman Empire. Actually, I don't have to go through them. Anyone that ever rose is now gone. They collapsed, and they got full of themselves. They lost their values. They lost their ways. They lost the people that came along later took for granted what they had. The people that worked for it and earned it and died for it understood it. But the next generations coming along tend to take it for granted and think this is just mine. This is God's gift to me. They don't understand what it really took to get that. But that's kind of human nature, and that's sad. Isn't it? Well, here we are, and there's no going back. Sadness. See you in the next video.